B. But me, your man, Louis T. Welcome to the 2019 NFL Draft Prospects 101 series, your guide to some of the biggest and hottest names of the 2019 NFL Draft. We're talking running backs, and this next guy is one of my favorite players, not just at the running back position in this draft, but in this draft in general. When you hear people say he's a football player, and it's so cliche. I remember the Redskins ex-GM Scott McCloughan would say all the time, I'm looking for football players. And you say, duh, really? Like, what are you really saying right now? Like, now I understand what he means when he says he's looking for a football player and a guy's a football player. David Montgomery is a football player, ex-high school quarterback. He's a running back in college and a damn good one. And this guy just, to me, has everything you're looking for in an NFL running back, a starting NFL running back, aside from speed. We talked about that with the other backs in this draft. There aren't many with top end speed in this draft, but that doesn't really define what makes a top flight NFL back. We look at Le'Veon Bell, and for a stretch there, he was the best back in football, and maybe he still is the best back. We'll see what happens with him in New York with the Jets, but he's not a blazer, okay, by any stretch of the imagination. Kareem Hunt is a guy that comes to mind, not a blazer, but he stepped right into the league and took it by storm. And so you don't have to be the fastest guy to be an elite NFL running back, and David Montgomery has all of the traits necessary to be a dominant back at the next level. And I am fascinated with this guy's game and what he brings to the table from a toughness, physicality standpoint. And his agility is also off the charts as well. He catches it out of the backfield. I mean, there isn't one thing that this guy doesn't do. And so I am really, really looking forward to him at the next level. Anxious to see where he ends up. And I think you'll be more understanding of my position after you check out the film. And so we're going to do that here in a second. 5'11", 216 is David Montgomery out of Iowa State, 3-year running back, 37 career games, 1,000-yard rusher in each of the last 2 seasons. And this is a guy with 26 career touchdowns. And like I said, he's not just a guy that can run it in between the tackles. He can also bounce it outside the tackles, even though there is an elite speed there, but he can also catch it out of the backfield, and he can give you some pass pro as well. So there is so much to like here. Let's get to David Montgomery and what he brings to the table as a running back in the 2019 NFL Draft. We're going to take a look at some games from 2017 and 2018. We first start in 2017 versus Iowa. Let's take a look at what he was able to do in this football game. So we start out here with some nice pass pro on a 4th down. All right, 4th and 3. Your quarterback needs time. He steps up, puts his body on the line, gives his quarterback the avenue to throw the football. That's quality right there. Nothing fancy, just getting in front of a man in a 4th down situation here. Nice. Showing the ability to catch the football. Comes out of the backfield, a little stutter there. Sees the quarterback rolling out. He makes himself an available target. Catches the football, then turns up the field, tries to slide, cut up the field and slides down. But I mean, that's 9 yards on 1st down and 10. You know what I mean? And that's a simple check down, essentially, him getting out into the passing route there. Here, when this is MYM, I talk about it all the time, make you miss. And so right there, making a guy miss, showing the agility here. Look at all these cutbacks. And then all the way across the grain here, he goes. And he takes a run that looked like it was every bit of 7, maybe 8 yards max. And now this is a big play. Look at another guy missing here. The vision on this play is ridiculous. And this is what David Montgomery brings to the table. Look at that run. I mean, that is an insane run. Let's take another look at this, because he makes about 4 or 5 guys miss on this run. And it's that phone booth agility that I talk about. That nice little cut there, the vision to get to the outside. Now watch this. Make you miss right here out of space. Get off of me. Cut back 1, 2 guys right there on that first cutback. Here's another cutback against the grain. Make this guy miss here. Now we're going all the way across the field, picking up blockers, picking up additional yardage. You're going to use these blockers right now. Cut back again, make another guy miss, and get additional yardage after contact. I mean, that's a phenomenal run there by David Montgomery. Now he's in the slot here as a receiver. Let's see what he does. He gets into his route, fakes outside, and then goes inside. What a route. I mean, that is just textbook right there. Nice hezzy at the top of the route. Looks like he's about to run outside, then comes inside on a inverted whip route. I mean, that's gorgeous. Then makes a spin move and picks up an additional 4 yards. I mean, again, that's just awesome football there as we take a look here at him outside now as a receiver. Catches the football with his hands, makes a guy miss, throws another, get your ass off of me, throws a guy down, breaks another tackle, and yet another tackle. I mean, this guy is a machine. When he gets the football in his hands, he's so determined to get every single yard that is available to him. And as you can see on this play, now he's stepping up pass pro. It fills the gap there on a blitz right up the A gap, knocks that guy on his ass. Touchdown. I mean, that's what David Montgomery is. He's a football player, as I mentioned before. Now he's in the backfield again. They're going to run a little speed option. Flips him the football here, does the quarterback. And now watch him get busy out here. Sets up a block there, bounces off 2 defenders, bounced off another one, bounced off 2 more, and now he's up the field. That's 7 Iowa defenders that had to lay hands on this man to get him on the ground as he picks up 13 and moves the sticks again. Now they run speed option. It was so nice. They decided to do it twice. They pitch it to him again, uses those blockers. And let's see if he can get in the end zone here. Breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackle, a face mask, breaks another tackle. And now he's at the 2-yard line. Look at the leg drive, pushing these guys into the end zone. That's a touchdown, folks. I mean, that is grit, determination, effort, everything you're looking for. That's what David Montgomery, to me, exemplifies. And that's why I think this guy has a chance to be a difference maker at the next level. So we go to the next game in 2017. This time they're against Oklahoma State. And let's take a look at what he was able to do in this football game. And on this first play, you'll see patience, agility, speed, vision. So nothing's there initially. Bounces it back outside, and that's the vision there to see that nothing's there and see all the space on the outside. Stiff arm to make a guy miss. Nice little cut back inside, and look at him accelerate away from the defenders and get into the end zone. There's so much there on that one play alone. That was gorgeous. On this next play, sometimes you got to be your own blocker. Immediate pressure in the backfield, has to make the first guy miss, gets to the outside, and is able to pick up about 12 on a play that should have went for -2. Again, sometimes if you want to be elite in this league as a runner, you got to be your own blocker and make guys miss. That unblocked defender, sometimes you got to make a miss. Here, he pushes to the line of scrimmage. Look at the patience there to then bounce it back, then cut it up the field. There was nothing there initially, and get up the field and get 8. That's patience and vision there. On this next play right here, you look at him, you got to make a man miss outside. Watch him get up the field and then cut it back, stiff arm, make 2, 3 defense. Look, you got guys falling down all over the place. I mean, that is ridiculous. All right. I talk about dirty runs with running backs all the time. Here's a prime example of that. Look, sometimes you just got to stick your head down and get what's there. This is a run that probably should have gotten him 2 yards. He gets 3 or 4 out of it. I mean, just dirty runs. 1st and 10, turn it into 2nd and 6. Here, pass pro, cuts a guy outside, coming off the edge on the blitz pressure, chops him down and allows the quarterback to get the football in the hands of a receiver, and look at the playmaker make a play. And that's what you're looking for from your running back. Give the quarterback time to survey the field and find the open guy. Now you see David Montgomery coming out, flaring out of the backfield, catches this little flare out with one hand with a defender on the other, and able to get up the field, drag that defender, and get a gain of 6. I mean, the guy does it all. Look at this one hand grab right here. Got the defender on the other arm, so he can't use 2 at the time. Stops the football, deadens the impact with the right hand, and is able to pull it in, and then able to drag that defender up the field and get 6 yards on a play that probably should have been incomplete. Most guys, all right, drop that football. Let's face it, that's not a catch. Game on the line right here, all right? 4th and 13. They're down 7. So let me pause it right now so you can see. We need a game awareness check right now. Look at the score in this game. Look at the time left, and look at the down and distance. Look where they are on the field. All right. So Iowa State is trailing by 7 in this football game, 49-42. It's the 4th quarter, 53 seconds left. They're at the 22-yard line of Oklahoma State, but here's the kicker: 4th and 13. Obviously, no timeouts remaining. They don't get this. They don't win the game. The game is done. So let's see what happens here. All right. As we roll this, and David Montgomery comes out. He checks down over the football about 5-6 yards deep. Watch what he does. Catches the football, makes the first guy miss, sticks his foot in the ground, makes another defender miss, gets up the field, and is able to pick up a gain of 19 on fourth and 13. All right. They would later get in the end zone, tie that game up, and send it to OT. That's big boy football at its finest, and that's what David Montgomery brings to the table. That's a simple check down, folks. In timing and rhythm, the quarterback got him the football and allowed him to do the rest. And not only did he do the rest, he put them in a prime position to go and score the game-tying touchdown. That is a big-time play by a big-time player in David Montgomery. So now we move on to the next game, and now we're in 2018. This is a big-time matchup. Remember, Iowa State defeated Oklahoma in 2017. Could they do it again? Let's see if they were able to get the job done 2 years in a row. Obviously, we know the answer to that. No, they weren't, but not because David Montgomery didn't do his part to try to help them win. As a matter of fact, David Montgomery and Hakeem Butler, their two best players on the offensive side of the football, were phenomenal in this game. Let's take a look at what Montgomery brought to the table versus Oklahoma in 2018. So this one here, he sets up his blocks beautifully by having patience and then exploding to the outside, breaking a tackle, and using that last blocker and getting up the field and getting additional yardage. And the patience on that play was gorgeous because he had to be patient to set up his blocks there in order to get to the outside. Here, you get a situation where he's giving you multiple efforts. This is a 4th and 1, mind you, okay? 4th and 1. I need it here. This is when you got to be tough and gritty. Look at him fight through 3 defenders and get 2 yards on 4th and 1. That is what I'm talking about. When I need you the most, how do you respond? Through contact balance, getting the first down there. Now look at him jump cut and make a guy miss on a 2nd and 3 to get 7. That is, again, an example of a guy being big time in the face of a defender, being right there as he gets the football here, making a guy miss on the outside, trying to rip the football out. He will have none of it. Bounces off that tackle, still turning the legs and picking up additional yardage is David Montgomery. This guy is so hard to bring down. You see it every single time he has the football. He is looking to punish defenders, make them miss, or he's looking to get every single yard out of every single touch that he has. That's one of the reasons I love what he brings to the table. So this next game against West Virginia is a fun one to watch, not only because it was one of his career high games, but he was coming off an injury here. He missed the last 2 games with an injury. This is his first game back off of that 2-game hiatus, and you would never be able to tell that he had missed the last 2 weeks because he looked otherworldly in this football game. Let's take a look at what David Montgomery did versus West Virginia. They're rated 6th in the nation at the time, undefeated before Iowa State. More importantly, David Montgomery got to sink his teeth into this West Virginia defense. Let's take a look at this one. Patience here. Watch him bounce it outside. All right, that's vision and that's patience and that's the ability to make a guy miss and then shed a defender and then accelerate to the outside. You talk about him not being fast. He's a 4.6 guy. Okay, well, I'm going to show you some of this 4.6 40 right here. And so this guy can run a little bit, man. Yeah, he's not the fastest guy in the world, and I've already highlighted that, but he can run. Don't allow the 4.6 to cloud your judgment. This guy can move nonetheless. So here, this is a negative. This should easily be a loss of 1. All right, right there. He'd have none of it. Make that guy miss. Look at that stutter, that little hesitation, and then boom, he gets to the outside, picks up 9 on the play, or 11 on the play that easily could have went for -1 or a no gain. Here, you get him pass pro, stepping up, cutting the guy, and that quarterback needed that space to deliver the football. Look what he does. Gets it to the tight end underneath, who then does the rest. And again, the time afforded on that play was given to him by David Montgomery. Again, giving his body up for the good of the football team. Here, this is another example of great pass pro. Blitzer coming up the middle. Again, Montgomery chops him down to size, gives the quarterback an opportunity to drive the football down the field, gets a PI. And so again, David Montgomery doing his job to help his quarterback out. And here's a 4th and 6 late in this football game. Exclamation point run is what it is. Look at that. Make your miss right there. That is nasty what he just did there. And to me, that was the perfect most fitting way to end what was a phenomenal game by David Montgomery. Yeah, I know. Put your hands up. You're guilty of making that guy look silly. And again, I've warned defenders time and time again, these young boys, they don't care. They're reckless. They are out here snatching ACLs and Achilles. Make sure you keep yours intact. So we go to the next game, Texas, Iowa State on the road. And they got their ass handed to them in this football game. But David Montgomery plays hard until the end. And that's another thing that I love about Montgomery. And so let's take a look at this game versus Texas. And so this is a handoff. You see how deep they are in their own territory. Makes that first defender miss, like he generally does. All right, bounces it to the outside. And then this is when that acceleration that I talked about, yeah, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he does get from 0 to 60 very quickly, and you saw it there on that play being able to turn the corner. Here's a little bit of pass pro. All right, guy coming off the edge. Yeah, he put him on skates a little bit, but watch Montgomery stand his ground and give the quarterback a lane to throw the football. That is gorgeous, and that just shows you the relentlessness that he has because, yeah, that guy won early, but Montgomery won the overall battle there. And then here, look at that. Sets up that one block, and then the hezzy to get to the outside and get into the end zone. This game didn't go their way. As you can see the score late in the game, but Montgomery playing to the end, nice little hezzy, sets up a block and then gets to the outside, gets into the end zone. And finally, last game we're going to take a look at in 2018 versus K-State. You can see Iowa State got on a little bit of a run with Montgomery back in the lineup. And this was a nice little capper to the regular season here, as Montgomery had himself another really quality performance as we take a look at what he was able to do at home late in the season versus K-State. All right, so here he has no business getting anything more than no gain on this play. How he manages to even get 2 yards out of this is ridiculous. I mean, he was hit immediately at the line of scrimmage, somehow managed to get 2 yards out of that play. Here, low center of gravity. Look how low he gets there. All right, look how low he gets there. Low man wins in the NFL or in football. And look at how he gets low, runs over a couple of defenders, powers his way through a couple of arm tackles and gets up the field and gets an additional 8 yards on that play. Another little speed option there, toss to the outside, showcases a little bit of speed here. Watch him hit this burst right here and look at him get up the field. I mean, you can't tell me that that guy doesn't have a little bit of juice there, man. That's a nice run there as he gets to the outside and gets out of bounds. All right, look at him set up his blocks here, cut off of his blocks and maximize this run. Look at him set that block up right there. All right, get up the field now. And actually, look at that stiff arm. Look at the stiff arm, which allows him to pick up an additional 6 yards on the play. I mean, again, these are things you can't teach. These are innate. All right. Now he gets into the pass route, breaks the guy off there, catches football. Watch the toughness here. Boom, takes a shot. You know, it's hard to hold on to the ball, taking a shot like that over the middle. But he does that and sets up a 2nd and 3 inside the 5-yard line. Here, gets a little handoff. And this is toughness right here. Runs through a couple of arm tackles, gets up the field, gives a little shake there, and gets into the end zone. I mean, look at the score. I mean, this is a big-time run late in that ball game. That was the go-ahead score, by the way. That's the little bit of burst you see. There's so much to like with this David Montgomery package. I feel like someone's going to get themselves a steal, and I don't know if it's going to be in the second round. To me, he's a second-round back all day long. And if he falls out of the second round, someone's getting themselves an absolute steal in this draft. Either way, if this guy were running 4-4, he'd be a first-round pick. I said the same thing about Devin Singletary. I think a lot of these backs in this draft have first-round talent. They just don't have the speed. And so I think he's one of those guys that if he were just a hair faster, we'd be talking about David Montgomery as a first-round pick for sure. He's got that kind of talent. I'm definitely in love with what this guy brings to the table, and I'm anxious to see where he ends up. But when you're talking comp in the league, I think it's a guy that just jumped into the league, and I talked about him earlier, and I referenced him earlier in Kareem Hunt. You know, I look at Kareem Hunt, and we were saying the same thing about him out of Toledo. I think he ended up being a 3rd-round pick by the Chiefs. Not the fastest guy in the world, but when you watch him on tape, he had a little bit of juice to him in terms of elusiveness. He wasn't afraid of contact, would lower the shoulder. He didn't fumble the football. Montgomery doesn't fumble very often. 3 career fumbles, 1 in each of his 3 seasons at Iowa State. So he doesn't put it on the carpet very often. But he's a guy that just does everything. Remember how Kareem Hunt caught it for the Chiefs, ran it for the Chiefs, did everything for the Chiefs? He didn't even have to come off the field. He was a guy that could also stay on the field in third down situations and pass pro as well. That's what David Montgomery brings to the table. Similar size, similar speed. You know, both of these guys came into the league right around 5'11", 215 pounds. Both of these guys ran a 4.6 40. Both of these guys were pretty much undersold as big time running backs coming into the NFL. And I think someone's going to get themselves a Kareem Hunt type of impact back in this draft in David Montgomery. And I think they're going to get him sometime in the second, possibly even the third round. And that to me is going to be tremendous value for some team in the National Football League. I'm your man, Louis T. Thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, you know your man Louis T has you covered. And if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage. It could be. Remember, subscribe to the Louis T Network if you haven't already done so. What are you waiting on? All right. I'm giving you this heat. Make sure you turn on that notification button because these videos are coming at you fast paced and they're in your face. And also remember to check out the Louis T Network podcast available on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Music Play, TuneIn, and of course the website louistnetwork.net. I'm your man Louis T signing off. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Louis T.